Before there were oceans, before there was sky, before a single leaf had ever unfolded, there was nothing but fire and darkness spinning through empty space. This is the story of the first age of our planet, the age before history. Before humans, before even the idea of time as we know it. If you've ever wondered how a dead rock became the only known home for life in the entire universe, stay with me, because what happened next is stranger than any myth we ever invented. About 4.5 billion years ago, our solar system was just a swirling cloud of dust and gas circling a newborn sun. Slowly, gravity began pulling that dust together, grain by grain, rock by rock, until a glowing ball of molten stone took shape. That ball was Earth. But this early Earth looked nothing like the blue planet we know today. There was no ocean, no green, no sky as we'd recognize it, just an ocean of lava, glowing red and orange, under a sky choked with ash and poison gas. Meteors rained down constantly. The air, if you could call it that, would have killed you in seconds. And then, one impact changed everything. Scientists believe a Mars-sized object slammed into young Earth, blasting a massive chunk of debris into orbit. Over time, that debris pulled itself together into a companion that has watched over us ever since. The Moon for hundreds of millions of years. Earth slowly cooled. The molten surface began to harden into rock. Volcanic eruptions released gases into the sky. And one of those gases was water vapor. As the planet cooled further, that vapor turned to rain. Not for a day, not for a year, but for possibly thousands of years without stopping. Rain fell into the lowlands and craters, filling them up, forming the very first oceans on Earth. Picture that for a moment. A world with no continents yet. No life. Nothing but dark water covering a still cooling globe under a sky with no blue in it, because there wasn't enough oxygen yet to make the sky blue the way we see it today. And then, somewhere in those ancient waters, something impossible happened. Simple chemicals, carbon, hydrogen, nitrogen, began arranging themselves into more complex molecules. Scientists still debate exactly how it happened. Maybe it was near volcanic vents deep on the ocean floor. Maybe lightning struck the right pool of chemicals at the right moment. But somehow, non-living matter crossed a line it had never crossed before and became alive. The first living things weren't plants or animals. They were single-celled microbes, invisible to the naked eye, floating in the ancient seas. This was roughly 3.8 billion years ago, and for the next 2 billion years, that's all life was. No fish, no trees, no sound at all except wind and waves. Just an endless ocean quietly filled with microscopic life, patiently changing the planet without anyone there to see it. Here's something most people don't realize. The air we breathe today didn't exist for most of Earth's history. Tiny ocean organisms called cyanobacteria began doing something new, using sunlight to make energy, and releasing oxygen as a byproduct. This process, photosynthesis, slowly changed the entire atmosphere of the planet. At first, this was actually a disaster for most life on Earth. At the time, oxygen was toxic to many of the ancient microbes that had ruled the oceans. Scientists call this event the Great Oxidation. It wiped out countless ancient life forms, but it also opened the door for something new. Life that could use oxygen to grow bigger, move faster, and eventually evolve into everything from fish to dinosaurs. To us, it took another billion years before life took its next major leap from single cells to multicellular organisms working together. Then came the first simple animals in the ocean. Then plants crawled onto land. Then insects. Then reptiles. Then, much later, dinosaurs ruled for over 160 million years before a catastrophic asteroid impact ended their reign. And only after all of that, after billions of years of fire, flood, extinction, and rebirth, did the first ancestors of humans finally appear. In the grand timeline of Earth, humans are almost a footnote, arriving in just the last few 100,000 years of a 4.5 billion year story. If you compressed Earth's entire history into a single 24-hour clock, life wouldn't even appear until around 4 a.m. Complex animals wouldn't show up until nearly 9 p.m. And humans? We'd arrive in the final 2 seconds before midnight. Everything you've ever known, every war, every language, every civilization, happened in that final blink of time. The next time you look up at the sky, remember, you're standing on a planet that spent billions of years transforming from a ball of fire into the only known home for life in the universe. And somehow, against every possible odds, you're here to witness it. If this made you see our planet differently, hit subscribe because next time, we're going even deeper into the age before recorded history began. See you in the next one.